Everyone, before we start today's episode, I just want to give a little disclaimer. Maseo and I are obviously not medical professionals, so everything we say should be taken with a grain of salt, and please do your own research before you take any of our advice. With that being said, let's get into the bod pod. So imagine we're hosting a radio show, all right? Teen Finance is giving away a brand new Wii. We're like trolls, right? We're like, all right, what should we do? We should see who can drink the most water without peeing. So this woman is like, all right, bet I want to win a free Wii from the Teen Finance radio show. So she goes and starts chugging water, and she's like, oh, I need to win this Wii. She doesn't pee, drinks too much water. Eventually, her bladder and stomach or wherever it goes fills up, and the water is nowhere to go. So it starts going into her cells, and then her cells started expanding. And then it goes into her brain, and her brain cells start expanding, and then she dies.
Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome back to Teen Finance. Today, we have a little bit of a banger. Not our normal finance thing. We're going on a little bit of we're doing a little thing called a bod pod today.
It's time for the bod pod. It is time for the bod pod. Yeah, so, I mean, we were hoping to be a little bit more energized and stuff for this, because the whole premise of the bod pod is how we use different substances and body hacks to push past our limits. But I don't know about you, Maseo. I've been feeling it recently, dude. Like, seriously, right now, if we didn't have to record this podcast, I would be right over there, and I'd probably be asleep. I've been hitting my limits a lot recently, and it's primarily due to sports. I get home from baseball, dude. I try to do schoolwork. I get some done, and then, I end up on my bed somehow, and I wake up, and it's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I have to finish up my homework that I didn't get done the night before, and go do it all again. And this weekend was not particularly rejuvenating, because because of baseball. I was up at like 7 o'clock and 7 o'clock both mornings too. So
brutal.
I feel terrible to put it to be frank. I feel terrible, and I'll tell you the things I've been trying to do. But this is pretty much the worst I felt it in my entire life. I'd have to say.
I feel a little burned out right now. Yeah,
Physically, it's impossible to keep this up forever. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, my entire weekend got like derailed because we had formal on Friday.
Yes.
And then I was like with a group of people, and everyone decided they wanted to keep hanging out. So I was out until about 4 in the morning.
You were out till 4 in the morning?
Yeah. So then my whole Saturday's gone, because I tried to sleep, and I had to go somewhere at, 9 o'clock on Saturday. So
nice.
I got, I was actually asleep by 5, so about 4 hours of sleep. And then I also had to wake up early on Sunday, and then now it's Monday. So,
yep.
Yeah, I'm like negative 8 hours of sleep right now.
Nevertheless, I think us being tired and it is actually a good example of the limits of what we say today we'll be able to provide you. All right. It's all these different things that we talk about isn't going to be enough to substitute the number one body hack, which is getting good sleep. But for a lot of us now, sadly, it feels like because of the things that, different activities demand of us, getting ample sleep isn't an option. Maybe that's a systemic problem that needs addressing. We're driving kids too hard these days. But yeah, this is what I've been using. This is what Maseo's been using. These are 10 body hacks and substances that we've been using to try to push past our limits and optimize our mental and physical performance. So the first one, which should be pretty obvious, and a lot of you probably already use it, is caffeine. So caffeine, it's a little miracle molecule. I've been reading up on it more recently, listening about it more recently. So talking, Huberman Lab podcast and other Healthline sources and stuff like that. Caffeine's pretty interesting. So what it's doing is, I used to think caffeine was just like some molecule that or something that like go into you and increase your energy, but it's doing it in a way that I didn't really know. So what it's actually doing is it's blocking the it's instead of like being the agent that's creating the thing, it's actually just blocking your brain's adenosine receptors. And adenosine is a molecule that can make you feel, sleepy and stuff like that. So what it's doing is it's blocking those and then making it so, you don't feel those effects. And what this can do is it can make you feel more awake, stuff like that. Masai, I see you fading right now, bro. You good?
No, I'm here. Sorry,
um,
I'm thinking about times that I've used caffeine.
yeah.
I'm thinking.
Um, but
Oh,
what it's doing is it's really it's blocking these receptors and promoting wakefulness and stuff like that. So the limits, or let's talk a little bit more how to optimize your caffeine, and then I'll get to the limits. So caffeine is best used it's better to use in the morning. So actually, before we filmed this podcast, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be up really late, and I had a big cup of coffee,
dude.
with my dinner. I actually and that was an air. All right, that was an air because caffeine is actually better consumed on an empty stomach. So that'll make it so that you will get the effects of caffeine felt faster. It's like the same thing as alcohol, where if you drink alcohol on an empty stomach, you'll feel the effects really quickly, and you won't just like ease into it. So it works in the same way. If you're on an empty stomach with most substances, you'll feel the effects faster. Um, your dose that you want to do is if you shoot for like 1 to 3 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per dose, then that's pretty much optimal. But that's per dose, and you can have multiple doses a day. So we're just talking like, in a sitting, basically. On a daily basis, you probably should. It's best to top out around 6 milligrams per kilogram. So, what does that translate to? Like 4 cups of coffee, 5 cups of coffee ish.
Dude, that's a
Um,
lot.
for someone like it's around like four. That's like for a lightweight like me, who's like 125 pounds. Fucking like, you know, 360, something like that. 360, 370 milligrams of caffeine. So you can have a lot of caffeine. And if you spread it out, that's good. If you want to be able to fall asleep quickly, a lot of times you want to end your caffeine intake by around 2 p.m. because the half-life of caffeine is actually pretty long. So you'll feel the effects strongest for the first hour, but I believe the half-life is around 6 hours. Let me double check that. Yeah, 4 and 6 hours is the half-life, but the quarter life is also very long. So this can hurt your sleep if you're drinking caffeine later, like me, unless your goal is to stay up late. In that case, I guess it makes sense to drink caffeine.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, you go.
yeah, I'm feeling the limits of it. All right, so I just drank caffeine a second ago, and I almost fell asleep an hour after drinking caffeine. What does this mean? One, perhaps it just hasn't hit me yet because I ate food too, and that consuming caffeine on a full stomach, the effects could be delayed. That's what I'm hoping it is. I hope I get a kick of energy in the middle of this podcast, and I'm ready to go crush my homework after this. But seriously, I think recently I've been drinking more coffee, and I'm building up a caffeine tolerance. And studies
Yeah.
have shown that the effects of optimizing, increasing your mental alertness, spiking your heart rate, stuff like that, actually can decrease over time as you build up a tolerance to caffeine. Much like other substances. So I'm wondering if I'm getting to that point because in the past, so story time. About a year ago, I went on a trip in March to Hawaii. Great, super fun trip. The thing is, when I got back, it was basically like hell for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. For at least a week, I was getting 4 hours of sleep a night and just trying to crush out homework. But I did it, and I'm trying to do that again right now, and I'm having a very hard time replicating it. And the thing is, the main difference is back then I didn't drink a lot of coffee, and I really only did it when I needed to. And I may try to go back to doing that because studies have shown that you will feel the effects of caffeine a lot stronger if you have been abstaining from caffeine for like, around 6 days or something. And more recently, I haven't been doing that. I've been drinking coffee every day because I'm like, oh, I need this. Instead of just trying to kick into like my power reserves. But I guess now I'm feeling more wiped from baseball because I mean it's just more baseball this year. We started a little bit earlier. Um, I just don't know if I'm not used to it or what, but no, I've been feeling very tired. I just fall asleep, even with caffeine. So it's it. You still sleep is the only thing that can really like caffeine is just a temporary thing blocking those receptors. You still need deep sleep, specifically REM sleep to fully recharge your batteries. But caffeine can be a tool in aiding you in crisis. I feel like. Or you can just
Yeah.
use it every day. There like seriously, there are benefits if you drink caffeine before studying and stuff like that. Your memory recall ability spikes up like over 50%. Um so if you're in a position where you can, drink caffeine responsibly and not rely on it and also supplement it with like true 7.5 hours of sleep, then you're in a good place.
Yeah. I feel like caffeine, I never drink it really. And so when I do, it just like I have a lot of energy and then I don't go to sleep every time. That's my whole issue. Doesn't matter like when in the day I even drink it. It's just
One thing I noticed was that when I drink caffeine in the morning, I crash harder. I that's actually me that needs more experimentation, possibly. Because I feel like it could also be just because of sports is what I'm feeling. But I feel like at least with the constant of sports happening, I feel like I crash harder around 10 p.m. when I drink caffeine versus when I don't. The thing is, it could also be because I just feel that sudden drop off of energy more because I went from very energized to not energized instead of just not energized to not energized,
yeah, I see what you
throughout
mean.
the day. Um, but no, I do feel like I feel that crash at the end of the day, and maybe that sudden drop off just motivates me. Like, oh my gosh, you need to sleep. Like that's what it's telling my body. And that's why that happens. But I don't know. All right. For some people like my sister, they get caffeine jitters. Where
Yeah, I get those
a
too.
cup of coffee just gets you shaking. Me personally, never gotten caffeine jitters. I feel like caffeine has always had a very weak effect on my body, even though I don't weigh much, stuff like that. I haven't, but it is a reality for some people, and that's where theanine, which is something that you find in a molecule that you find in teas and stuff like that, can help to quell those jitters. So theanine is present in stuff like yerba mate, and it for people who get those caffeine jitters, um, it's something that can be a good partner to caffeine and help you still get the benefits of caffeine while limiting the potentially harmful side effects. So, I don't know. Maybe you need to go start drinking some yerba mate tea, Maseo, if you're getting caffeine jitters, possibly. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'll
Um,
just be eternally tired. It's fun.
yeah. Real quick before we move away from caffeine, like you said you've been going to the gym more. Are you doing pre-workout and stuff like that before you go?
Yeah. Some yeah, like before legs usually.
Before legs to get you through
Yeah,
it. So yeah,
it's yeah.
pre-workout is an insanely concentrated version of caffeine in most cases. There are other things in there, but um, it does give you that energy boost because it's more concentrated than something like coffee. you know, where
Yeah.
coffee just like naturally occurring pre-workout, you're just jamming it into like a Sour Patch flavored powder that you can you can use. No.
Yeah, because usually like when I do take a pre-workout, it's have you seen Celsius before? It's like an energy drink.
Yes, I've heard of that.
They're like 5 calories and they're like less. You can actually pronounce the stuff in them.
Yeah.
Like they're not like straight just chemicals.
Are they actually
And they
good?
still have a lot of caffeine. Yeah, they actually taste
Okay.
pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely easier to I feel like it's better than like C4 and like Ghost Energy just because it tastes like less artificial. It does have that aspartame taste though.
Okay, so I think cap energy drinks work on me. Maybe I just need to get a supply of energy drinks to be like my emergency things because yeah, coffee isn't doing it anymore. But whenever I would drink like Red Bull and something, or dude, I'm like stuttering on my words so much. I hope that shows you guys how tired I am right now. But no, Red Bull works for me. Red Bull can seriously kick me into an overdrive mode still. And maybe and I kind of want to keep it that way. I don't want to like normalize. I don't want to become tolerant on Red Bull because once you drink a lot of caffeine, I mean caffeine is something it's a reinforcer. Like it's there's a reason they put it in so many like soft drinks and stuff like that. It's because we like the feeling that we get from caffeine. So it's added to all of these drinks and stuff. I don't want to get hooked on it in high quantities like on Red Bull because I want to be able to save that sudden spike that I'm not used to for times when I really need it. Like
Yeah.
now, if I had a Red Bull, bro, that would save my ass. But
You should start like mixing it into your coffee. Like put like half a Red Bull in your coffee every day.
that sounds like as bad as like Pilk or something. It's
Yeah, I feel
gotta
like
be
Coke wouldn't-
worse.
I feel like it wouldn't be that bad.
Rafi,
I
Red Bull coffee.
Rocky.
Yikes.
Oh man.
All right. What is the optimal way to rejuvenate yourself? It's with sleep.
Yeah.
But what is
Oh,
the
sleep.
optimal way to sleep? All right, story time. You know,
Mm,
this is maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I don't know. All right, so you know Ryan Roby, right? Who goes to our school.
I do. Yeah.
A lot of people who listen to this won't know. Um, he's quite the character, but he also has an older brother who's also quite the character. And his older brother was talking about he was saying that if you sleep in 90-minute increments, then somehow that makes you more well rested. And I thought this guy was just like 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my god. I think I went along with it, like saying I believed him, fully sarcastic. And like I was just like, dude, this is like really funny. I'm gonna pretend to believe this. But then I do more research. It's completely true. All right. So your sleep cycle runs in 90 minutes. And if you can wake up at the end of one of those cycles, you'll actually feel more well rested than if you slept more, but woke up in the middle of one of these cycles. So what it is you cycle through sleep where you're in a lighter stage of sleep, and then you go into REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. And if you wake up in the middle of REM sleep, if you're like, it's like naturally, let's say you just don't set an alarm and you wake up, you will always wake up at the end of one of these cycles because it takes more to wake you up out of REM sleep. But if you're using an alarm or something like that, then you don't want to really get ripped out of the middle of your sleep cycle. So it is 90 minutes for most people, give or take, 10 minutes or something like that. But what you want to try to do if you're setting an alarm is you want to sleep in multiples of 90 minutes. So that means you can sleep in 90 minutes for an hour and 30 minutes, 3 hours, 4 hours and 30 minutes, 6 hours, or 7 hours and 30 minutes. Optimally, you're getting close to that 8-hour mark. You want to be sleeping 7 hours and 30 minutes. That's like realistically you want to aim for that. Never happens. I say usually on the 6 hour, 75% of the time. No, I'd say I don't know. 75% of the time I'm on the 6 hour one. No, 66% I'm on the 6 hour. 33% I'm on the 4:30.
Oh,
That's
4:30
why
is
I'm like
rough.
screwed right now. But at least I wake up feeling better than if I, was not getting that boost. But yeah, sleeping in the 90-minute cycles, it really can just make you feel more well rested and less like you're ripped out of wanting to sleep more. So try to do that. Of course, for me, a challenge is finding out how long it takes me to fall asleep and trying to coordinate that. Um, but you can definitely figure that out. And what you can do is, on a night when you don't have to set an alarm, you can time yourself. Um, there are like sleep apps and stuff that can actually figure out if you like have like an Apple Watch, figure out when you fall asleep, and then you can see how long that duration is and figure out exactly how long your cycles are, and you could optimize it that way. Do you
Yeah.
sleep like that, Maseo, since I've started
Um,
talking about it, or no?
what do you mean, like the 90-minute cycles?
Yeah.
Um, I okay, I did it for a while after you
Hmm.
mentioned it to me, and it was like kind of working, but then I kind of hated the idea of like if I went to bed at 12, I need to be up at 7. I would sleep until 6 o'clock and not 7, and like I feel like getting up at 6 o'clock was worse for me than just sleeping the extra 60 minutes onto the cycle.
Sometimes I use it as a excuse for why I can stay up later, which is bad. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
doing though.
like,
That was my
oh,
issue.
I passed my 1 hour 30 minutes. I need to wake up exactly at 6:30 or something like that. I guess I have to stay up longer to hit my 90
Yeah, yeah,
minutes,
that
and
was my
that's a
issue. I kept doing that.
yeah, yeah. Um, no, this was in that 1 week where I entered like peak mental performance mode last year. I'd say the 90-minute sleep hack was the driving force because I would just do 4:30 a night, and that was the main hack that got me through it. There's less caffeine involved than I am doing right now, trying to get through this this 2 week my frantic February. Yeah, my sleep
Yeah.
has been so sporadic, like it's really not purposeful anymore because I'm I'm laying down in bed saying that I'm taking a break or something like that. And then I just accidentally fall asleep and I wake up in the morning and it's like screwed. Um, I need to be more purposeful about it and realize when I need to go to sleep. Like I need to go to bed. I have stuff to do. I'm gonna do the same thing that I do every night, dude. It feels like it's unavoidable now.
Yeah.
Um, dude, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like what I've
I
been
got
doing
this.
for
It's
like
gonna be done
you
in like
got it. No, no, it'll be
I'm
done
so
though.
hyped for when I'm like functioning again. But yeah, to put this into context, I have like a big long list of stuff that I need to get done before I leave on Wednesday because I'm going to the UK. So, yeah, for those listening, that's why.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna need to figure out I'm gonna be like timing I'm gonna be experimenting a lot with sleep as I deal with that that jet lag from that 11-hour flight moving
Oh yeah.
how many time zones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 hours.
Yeah. I think.
7. Wait,
Are you even math you're looking at, or you're just
yeah, I am looking at a map.
okay? I thought you're like
Yeah,
drawing with your brain or
1, 2,
something.
3, 4, 5. I think it's 8. It's just
Sounds
I'm just
right.
looking at longitudinal lines.
Yeah.
Um. So yes, 90-minute sleep cycle. If you aren't doing this one there aren't many side effects besides just like convincing yourself that you can stay up later. Instead of staying up later, just wake up a little bit later. Trust. No. All
Yeah.
right. Back to the gym stuff, Maseo. Creatine. Tell me about it. I have never taken creatine.
Yeah. So I started taking it like 2 weeks ago now. And the whole basis of creatine basically is it allows for more water to be stored inside of your muscles,
Hmm.
which allows for them to be hydrated, hence recovering faster and burning out like slower. Because as you're working your muscle, you're tearing it apart basically, and so the moisture is seeping into the muscle as it's ripping. And when there's less moisture in there, like hence not being on creatine,
Hmm.
you burn out quicker because you get sore and it starts to hurt quicker
Yeah.
basically. But with creatine, the extra water stored in your muscle, it allows for it to basically like last longer, boost endurance, and so you feel a lot better when you're doing it. And it's also proven to like boost ATP, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
energy that your body produces from breaking down food, which leads to better recovery and like muscular growth. That's like the basis of what I know about it. I know it goes a lot deeper than that, but
Yeah, I mean, if you're just seeing immediate results, like a lot of people use creatine. I guess just because of its name, I feel like it has a negative stigma. Do you think that's
yeah,
accurate? I feel like people would
it.
say you're on
I think it
creatine, it's like fucking almost as bad as like
like
roids or something.
I don't. Yeah, but it's like it's weird though because it's like it's the number one most researched supplement in the world.
And it's pretty natural and just like
It's
fine. It's
entirely
really
natural.
not a
There's
big deal.
nothing.
It's not like
It's
trend or something. It gets thrown into the
no
same boat as all of that though.
like your body naturally produces creatine. It's like
Yeah.
naturally occurring. It's just you're boosting it. That's all.
Yeah. Um so creatine, yes. I heard you talking a little bit about um recovery and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I don't know about you, I'd always been taught to ice soreness. For people who play baseball, coaches are always saying, "Oh, if your arm is sore, just ice it. You need to ice it." And like that has gotten yelled at me all throughout my baseball career. Never with any like real reasoning though. Until this year, our new pitching coach, who has his two sons. One of them's with the San Diego Padres organization. One of them's with like the A's, I think. So pitching coach who has some ethos. He's like, don't ice. He literally says, just like do not ice. And his reasoning is that, I mean, when you ice sore muscles, you are trying to reduce swelling and cut off like the amount of blood that is flowing there. You're basically just trying to reduce swelling, and swelling is blood flowing to that area to try to heal it. um so if you have an immediate injury, icing makes sense. But if it's just soreness, he was saying you just want to let your body do its job fixing that, so simply rest. um don't You just want to keep the blood flowing to that area so that you can give your muscles time to heal. So that makes more sense. There's more science to it. Of course,
Yeah.
do your research. We are not like medical professionals or anything else. This is just what I'm hearing from other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just a refreshing take from different than the just icer stuff, which is like what I'd heard throughout my entire baseball career and stuff like that.
Yeah. What I've been using is like it's like massage guns before.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't have
They're
one. I
like
want one really bad though,
you should
because
get.
sometimes
It's
I
like
feel it.
$20, dude. Just get one.
They're not $20.
There are some that are $20. Like
Dude, I'm just used to like the drop shipper prices. They're like $150 for like a little
no, no,
jank
no,
one
no,
from
no,
China.
no, no, no. No, go on Amazon. They're cheaper
Dude,
on there.
drop ship
But
massage guns, new product. No, that was like a product people drop shipped like years ago, probably.
that was a product of the past. Yeah.
We
Before
moved
like
on,
Sharper
guys.
Image picked it up and stuff.
Yeah, no, I want one of those. They help with
They work.
soreness.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because they like stimulate the area, so just like boost blood flow there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just recover way quicker. And it's like I don't know, it's like really easy to do because it takes like no effort from you.
Yeah.
You just press a button, you hold it there. Like that's it. Like
It's tech. If you're sore,
yeah,
it can just like it can just help alleviate sharp pain in a certain area. We use them a lot in baseball when your like leg just feels super tight or something like that.
yeah,
It's tech. All right. Um, Maseo, tell
yeah.
me about meditating. I've tried to meditate, but
Um,
stuff, my brain just races, bro. Like
yeah,
I can never like stand still for that long. And my excuse is, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to
yeah.
sit there for 5 minutes. Are you kidding me? 5 minutes not being productive? You're crazy. What?
No,
No.
you're gonna explode.
Yeah.
Um, so I used to do it a lot. Like I guess like during like quarantine and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a lot more time then, and
Dude, I miss winter break so much. That was so hype when
yeah,
all
that
I
was so
did
nice.
was
Yeah,
just like get good sleep, record podcast, read, repeat. It
I
was
kind of
hype.
miss
Go to the
reading.
gym too. Like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I haven't read in so long, dude. I haven't started Rocket
I'm just
Fuel.
reading Gatsby right now. It's pretty troll. Dude, Gatsby's so relatable, man. Off topic, but bro, Gatsby's so relatable. So awkward with the chicks. Like, God, no.
Got big plans tomorrow, so. Oh,
Huh?
happy Valentine's Day to everybody listening.
Should I go buy a house across for Valentine? Should I find my Valentine, buy a mega mansion across the street from them, and then host lavish parties, hoping that they'll pull up one day?
Hope that they show up.
Gatsby's so relatable, man. Yeah. Sorry, meditation,
Meditation.
meditation,
Right.
guys.
Yeah. So I was like, during that time, I started using Headspace, like the app. Have you seen like all the
I've seen so
YouTubers?
many. I get them all. There's
All
like
the YouTubers. Yeah.
57 meditation apps that are sponsoring
Yeah.
YouTubers these
But
days.
I know Yes Theory, they did a thing where they did like their 100 days of mindfulness. You got 100 days of free Headspace.
Mm-hmm.
And so I claimed that, of
Nice.
course. And I used it and I beat Headspace. Like they have like levels. I like beat all the levels because what else did I have to do? I just
Nice.
meditated all the time.
They
But,
gamified it.
Yeah, exactly. They made it cool.
That's a good way to reinforce it. Back to Atomic Habits, guys. Oh my gosh, this is all coming full
Oh,
circle.
whoa. But
Um,
yeah, I would do it every morning when I woke up. I would just sit up in my bed, just like close my eyes, like take like deep breaths, and try to like either clear your mind or like kind of try to process like what you're doing in your day,
mm-hmm.
like how I would start my day, and I would end it trying to, kind of process like what happened in that day.
Let's say angle your mic down. You're like talking to the side of it.
No.
No. Yeah, I think I should try it. I really should. I think that or another thing, which I guess we can count as our 10th item. We had 9 on there and we wanted 10 for the title. But journaling. Have I talked about this? Maybe.
Journaling?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Journaling is a great tactic to increase your focus because you're getting all of these intrusive thoughts that are, occupying your brain throughout the day. And if you journal in the morning or at night, if you journal at night, if you just get these ideas out onto paper, it can clear your mind a little bit before you try to go to bed. Because I don't know about you, I can stay up for hours just thinking about something. It can just keep me up. And journaling
Yeah.
kind of tries to fix that. Or like if you do it in the morning before school, you can get your ideas, literally get them out on paper, and that'll try to flesh them out of your brain to increase focus throughout the day. I just need to do it, bro.
I kind of want to try that.
Enough
I
talk.
don't know.
Enough said.
Yeah, I feel like I like won't be able to get myself to actually do it though. That's my issue. It's like,
It definitely takes discipline.
100% does.
Yeah, it
I don't
takes
see it.
time too. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
30 minutes. I don't know. I guess not that long. 10 minutes or something like that. I think my
Yeah.
sister journals. I'm pretty sure. It's something that people are very personal about too, though, because you're literally like just talking all about your life.
Yeah, it's like your life,
Mine would just be, dude, what is it? Go to baseball, do school, repeat. Gatsby's so
Today
relatable, man.
I
Gatsby's so
woke up,
relatable.
drank coffee.
All right. Drinking a lot of water, just hydrating.
Water, dude. It's so important.
It is very important. You can't actually overhydrate though, so you can overdose on everything. Don't overdose on water. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the story? We were talking about this in A-Push today because I think some of the biotech kids were doing their project on, what is it called? What is overdosing on water called?
There's a name for it.
Yeah, there's a name
for everything.
It's not water intoxication. What am I trying to get at? Not water. Oh, hyponatremia.
Hyponatremia. It's just overdosing on water.
Drinking too much water. But there's this woman was on a radio show, right? So imagine we're hosting a radio show, all right? Teen Finance is giving away a brand new Wii, all right? So you can win a Wii. And we're like trolls, right? We're like, all right, what should we do? We should see who can drink the most water without peeing. So This
Oh.
woman is like, all right, bet I want to win a free Wii from the Teen Finance radio show. So she goes and starts chugging water, and she's like, "Oh, I need to win this Wii." She doesn't pee, drinks too much water. Eventually, her bladder and stomach or wherever it goes fills up, and the water is nowhere to go. So it starts going into her cells, and then her cells start expanding. And then it goes into her brain, and her brain cells start expanding, and then she dies. So it's
Whoa.
possible to overdose on water. It is. You can your brain cells will swell, and it's just not good when your brain drowns in water. Dude, I'm stumbling across my words so bad. This is actually like the most I've done it ever.
You
Straight up.
definitely have to try to overdose on water, though.
No, you
that
have to
won't
drink a
happen
lot.
just
You
from
really do have to drink a lot of
Yeah.
water.
that won't happen just from drinking like a healthy amount. That'll happen from like spending your whole day with a gallon of water in your hand, like force feeding yourself.
Not even that. Even that, I think it won't. Like that's probably like how much you're supposed to have anyway.
No, I mean like you're like forcing the gallon, like you're drinking more than one.
Yeah,
I think it's like 3 gallons and your stomach explodes.
it just blows up.
I think it's right around there.
Yeah. What's another thing that we can talk about with water? Using water to
Cold
make it
showers.
cold. Cold, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Cold. Yeah.
So cold plunges, cold showers. A lot of professional athletes and stuff use it to try to speed up the healing process because it's like, oh, ice, but we just said that's BS. But what it can do is it can energize you and wake you up,
Yeah.
I think it's as close to a wake up, it's the first of the month, type thing as you can get in the morning, just taking a nice cold shower. Because a warm bath, a hot shower will, prepare you to fall asleep at night. A cold shower in the morning, cold plunge in the morning will do the opposite. So, nothing that can get your blood flowing and your brain going and your heart rate up, like taking a cold plunge for like 3 minutes or something like that.
And I tried during winter break. Actually, I was doing them every day in the rain. But like when it was raining outside, I was taking cold showers.
That's troll.
Now that like I am waking up and showering and going to school, I don't have the motivation to make the water cold when it is 35
It's very,
degrees
very
outside.
difficult. When the time comes and you have the choice and no one's looking and you have the choice to make that water hot or cold,
it's gonna be hot.
It's
hot.
gonna be hot, and it's very difficult to get past that.
It's so hard in the morning when my house is like 55 degrees.
I know. I'm just like, all I want to do is be warm. I just got out of my warm bed, and I just want to stay there. So I'm gonna make the water warm to try to simulate it.
Exactly. I don't know. Well, on a hot day, a cold shower kind of hits different though. But that's also because it's hot out.
That's true, but then that's for a completely different reason.
Yeah, that's just because you're cooling yourself down.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you heard of the company Plunge? The people that make the cold plunges for like $5,000, which I guess.
Oh yeah. It's just a bucket, isn't it?
It just looks like a giant bathtub that's like rectangular. It looks like remember that car that's just like a shape? It's like a prism of some sort.
You know
what
I'm
talking about. It looks like that, but
like
white and flipped upside down because it's like it just looks like a bathtub, pretty much.
I think they're clearly just for the aesthetic. Like I don't really think. Like,
so I know a couple people that have them, and a lot of people say they're actually worth it.
Like they're special? Are they different than
they're
a
just
bucket?
like high quality, and it makes it so that you don't have to like go and run out and buy ice, because it'll just like chill the water for you.
Oh, they chill the water? I thought it was just a bucket.
No, it's an actual.
That makes it a little more worth
it's
it
cold
then.
plunge. Yeah, it'll chill for you.
Okay.
So they were on Shark Tank, and I think they got a big deal. I
think Robert went in.
Robert went in it. I know.
He went in it. Yeah.
Did he?
I don't know.
Go in it and then go in.
Then go in. I think it was. I thought it was Mark that he got it from the Mavs.
Yeah, Mark was hyped on it for the Mavs because the Mavs do cold plunges anyway. But go buy a $7,000 bathtub.
That's what I'm saying.
If you want to be cold plunging, we can just take cold showers.
Only cold.
Similar effects. Who was it? Another podcast I listened to, How to Take Over the World. I think maybe it's like Napoleon or something, like took cold shower or cold baths or something like that. If you want to go take over the world, go conquer Europe. It's kind of a necessity.
Take cold plunges.
Last one on there. The last one I see on the list, Maseo. Take us home. I'm gonna try.
Oh, I think.
I'm gonna be very alert because it's very disrespectful to fall asleep while you're talking. So
Yes, Em. Don't fall asleep while I'm
not.
talking.
I promise you, I'll try not to, man.
All right, so I
I
guess
need my
this is
neck
probably
pillow. I
like.
just got a neck pillow for my travel. Maybe that'll make it look
Oh,
like
that'd be
my head is
sweet.
still
Just
upright.
say yes. It looks like you're still looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably like number 12 now. But I'm
I
going
thought
on.
we were saying around. We went on a 10.
Yeah, but we've
10 for the
tangent too many
title,
times.
boys. 10 for
10
the
for the
title.
title. All right. Number 10 here. Progressive overload. So this is something for the gym. I think you can technically do it in any aspect of your life.
Okay.
And I was thinking about this, and it ties back to Atomic Habits. This goes full circle. This goes back to the idea of making yourself 1% better every day.
Okay.
Basically. But so in the gym sense, I don't know how you apply this to real life, but in gym sense.
Am I being racist to white people right now by doing this?
Reverse racism.
Reverse racism, guys. Hey, I'm half white. I can do that. Jeez,
you can do both of them. So
I can do both of them. I can't do both of them.
But basically, the idea of progressive overload is that every time you go to the gym and you hit a certain muscle group, you try to do just like one more rep, go up at one more pound, go up 2 more pounds. And I think that was a big issue with my going to my training like all summer, is that I stayed at the same weight and I never like really tried to push myself like past that. Because like my bench like plateaued at like 135 and just kind of sat there forever. And like now that I'm actually progressive overloading, I'm able to rep out like 165.
Wait, how much are you benching now?
165.
Dude, attaboy.
Yeah.
Dude, I need to get back to the gym, seriously.
I want like 200 soon. I don't like the 165. That's huge. I just need to get over body weight, then I'll be happy. I'm like 10 pounds off. Or 5.
You got
5
this.
pounds. I'm almost there. But
progressive overload. It's like the story of the kid who dug a hole 1 inch deeper every single day. Was this Diver Wimpy Kid or what was it? No, it definitely is.
It sounds like a suicide letter or something.
It
sounds like a death wish,
bring
dude.
in on my memories from years ago. I feel like in one of the Diver Wimpy Kid books, Greg like digs a hole and he digs it 1 inch deeper every single day and like jumps out of the hole. Obviously, that's a story that's existed in many different capacities, but I feel like I first heard it in Diver Wimpy Kid. I'm like 90% sure. I don't know unless I'm completely making that up, which would be pretty funny too.
Atomic Habits, make your hole better. Make your hole 1% better every day.
Dig a hole. Guys, if you dig a hole and you dig 1 inch deeper every single day, you'll be able to jump as high as you want. If you just
you'll get a really big hole.
Yeah, and then you can also bury a body down there or something. It might end up being
that's what I thought it was. That's why I thought you were talking like a horror movie or something.
No, I'm talking about jumping, fool. Why is your mind going there, Maseo?
That sounds like some like menacing kid in a horror movie just digging a hole.
Digging a hole.
Some Addams Family type beat.
All right, what did we talk about today? We talked about using caffeine. We talked about using theanine to couple caffeine. We talked about creatine. We talked about the 90-minute sleep cycle hack. We talked about meditating. We talked about not icing your soreness. We talked about cold plunging, cold showers. We talked about drinking a lot of water. We talked about progressive overload. We talked about journaling. What else did we talk about? Digging holes and jumping out of them.
Yeah, digging a hole.
That's the bod pod. I'm sorry we were tired for it, but it really goes to show that the number one mental, I guess it's not a hack. It's not a hack. Just get sleep. I wish I could do that right now, bro, but I got stuff to do. I gotta edit the pod. I gotta do homework.
Yeah, it's almost 12 o'clock for us right now. So
it is. Yeah. By the way, it is 11:49. I'm gonna be up till like 3. I'll probably be up when this podcast goes live.
I was gonna say, if you're listening to this at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time,
hit me up. Tell me, give me some immediate feedback. I'll have time to like fix the podcast and re-edit it and re-upload or something. Before anyone knew that it was different.
Oh man,
Maseo, I hope you have some good sleep.
I hope so too. I have some homework to do, to be honest, but I took a nap today from like 2 o'clock to like 6 o'clock.
You lucky bun, dude.
But people kept coming to my room and waking me up.
Real quick. One last hack. 10 minutes should be the maximum you're taking for a nap. Other than if it's over 10, 20 minutes, that's sleep. It's a completely different thing. If you want a power nap, 10-20 minutes is optimal time.
I know. I did not mean to fall asleep for that long.
Set a timer, people.
Yeah, that's like all my homework time too. That's such crucial time.
Yeah, no, I feel like I wake up after a nap. I feel so guilty. I'm like, oh,
no, I feel so. I still feel terrible for it.
I napped a lot last semester. You really just can't do that anymore because of baseball.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully we have an episode next week. I'm saying hopefully because I'll be in the UK, and seeing that it is Monday and we are just getting this one up, and tomorrow is my last day to pack. I'm not recording another podcast. It is not happening. So the only way we get out a podcast next week is if I bring my mic, which I'm going to try to do, and I have a strong internet connection at my hotel, which it is a 4-star hotel in the middle of London, and then they're both 4 stars. They're both the same place in the middle of London, Edinburgh.
Sounds good.
Hopefully it's good. And then she's like, if I can find like an hour and be able to edit this thing,
match up our schedules together.
And you're gonna and Maseo's gonna be in Arizona.
Well.
So
acquiring the new Teen Finance Media.
The new Teen Finance building that we actually just purchased.
I'll post it on the gram for you guys.
Yeah, post it on the gram. So mark your calendars, maybe. Mark your calendars for a puzzle. I don't want to lose our streak though. I'm determined. I feel like one of us, maybe it'll just be one of us recording a solo episode and getting something up, but we will not lose our streak. We're at 34 weeks. Or
Sam,
33 now.
You record your solo episode and you talking, and then just take like a 10-second break after everything you say, and then I'll put in my input, and then we'll piece it together.
That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, so hopefully we can make it happen. That'd be pretty troll, recording a little Teen Finance gone international, Teen Finance gone global. Maybe I pull Max Bunting off the street in London.
Dude, just go find him
and get him on our pod. That's the strat.
That is the strat.
All right, I'm gonna go try to do something. Goodbye.
Oh, bye.